Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another episode of Battle Bites here in World of Tanks. And today I am in the Tier 7 Czechoslovakian medium tank, or heavy tank I should say, the EZ44-1. It's a line I've been working up for a while. I don't play a lot of heavy tanks, and there's not a lot about this tank that I can say in this video. It is just kind of a standard solid heavy tank. But what I do want to talk about is the map that we're playing on, and this is Mines, and I haven't seen Mines in a very long time. Apparently it must have gotten bumped down to lower tiers for a while, and then I think recently it got moved up again into the higher tier battles. And Mines is always a map that I really love, especially if I'm playing one of my faster, more mobile tanks. But recently, ever since the map has gotten moved, and there was an event where I was playing some tier 3 tanks to grind points really fast, and I did see Mines a lot during that event. Every time I get onto Mines, the point of Mines, right, the big thrill, the key strategy is to take the hill in the center of the map, and you need to kind of blitz there and go up the hill and win it, and then you get vision and firing angles, and everything just kind of comes together. I cannot have a game on Mines where my team wins the hill. It doesn't happen. If I go, I'm going by myself. So I've learned to start going for the hill, and then when I see that there's only one tank supporting me or zero tanks supporting me, which is the case in almost every single battle, I'll bail and do something else because it's just not worth it. I go up there by myself, and for some reason the enemy team always has 5 tanks go up there, and I get swarmed and taken out, and it's just disappointing that I don't even get to participate in my favorite map. So in this battle, I'm in a heavy tank. I'm not in a very mobile tank. So you can see I flirted with the idea of trying to go on the direct B line to take the hill with this tank, but of course that's not going to work. It's too slow, and with the spawn locations on this variant of the map, you have to kind of cut across this big open angle, and the enemy teams that are fast and quick can get across the gap there, and they can shoot at you the whole way, and you have to be turned to the side, so the armor's not going to be very effective. I took a hit or two very early on, was not going to happen. So, of course, here we are again. We have completely lost the hill. The enemy's team is dug in up there. So instead, what I did, instead of just trying to force it, I let that go and moved down the river, or up the river, north on the map. Found a couple of enemies that overextended, took them out, and now we're trying to put some pressure on those guys that are up on the hill. But before that, we have this EBR Hotchkiss who goes on what you might think is a suicide run, but more often isn't, because those light tanks are so fast and mobile, and it's so hard to aim. You have to give such an amount of lead, and you can't auto aim because your shot will always lag and miss. So you have to manually aim, and your turn sometimes, your turret rotation, can't keep up with those fast light tanks when they're in close proximity. So what should be a suicide run often isn't, but in this case, I did take the time and get the aim and the lead just right in order to get the final shot on that Hotchkiss and get the kill. So with that secured, we have this northern flank secured, and now we can push in on the hill, and it's an unconventional way to do it, but we have won the hill on Mines. And yeah, the battle's mostly over at this point. It's 9-5. We're in really good shape, so it's going to take a lot to throw this game. Hopefully that doesn't happen. We'll see. But this is the dream, just it's a little bit, too late for it to be really enjoyable because there's just a couple of stragglers left on the enemy team. But we were able to at least show some of the strengths of the VZ44-1. When I was poking that corner and putting the pressure on the tanks that were up on the hill, we were using some of that turret armor, which is decent. If you're the top tier tank in a game, which we are, actually we're a tier 7 and there are some tier 8, so not even that. But when you're up against tanks that are the same tier or lower, the armor on the turret is okay. It will provide some bounces. Obviously, higher tier tanks are probably going to go through you just about every time. But now you can see what we can do with this position. So we can switch. We were shooting towards the town there, to the back of that, the tank destroyer. Just quite wasn't out far enough for me to get a hit. But we can also shoot at this valley coming up here. So there's the Kanonen Jagdpanzer 105. Bang, we get a shot into him as he's extending. Now there's I think that's the Nameless down in front of me in the valley. We can take a shot at him. We can take a shot at the enemy, what's normally the enemy spawn location In this variant, the caddy corner setup, there is no base up there, but the enemies can push into that location and sit in those bushes where we can see the M48 Panzer is. But first, yep, here's that Nameless. He's down there. We're going to poke over. We do take one big hit, but the gun on this tank, it's pretty good. It's not super fast. I mean, it's a heavy tank gun, and that's what you would expect performance-wise from a heavy tank gun. It has a nice punch. It has some decent alpha, but it has a fairly long reload. It's just a good standard heavy tank gun at tier 7. No special auto reloader, no special clip, no special high alpha, just a standard good reliable gun that if you get yourself into position, hopefully one in which your armor can provide you some protection, you can then let the gun go to work and hopefully take out those tanks that are faster and got into a better position than you, but are less well armored and maybe have a gun that isn't quite as punchy as yours. So we have cleaned up, secured the rest of the location here. One tank left. I'm going to try and parkour my way down here. Not too bad in a heavy tank. Not a single point of damage coming down that not easy slope in order to get down. And yes, this is the T28 we were shooting at before. Still in a pretty decent position here. I have enough health. I figure I'm just going to take this one hit and tank it, and then hopefully my allies will get around behind him. He's facing right at me. I am not going to be able to punch through the front of that tank, and he's looking right at me, waiting for me to poke out so he can get the kill, and I am not going to give them the satisfaction of doing that. I have quick allies. Let them go and get behind and swoop in and get that last kill, and that is a victory on mines, something that I don't see a lot of, certainly at these high tiers. But what a win for something that seemed like a mundane kind of run-of-the-mill battle. That was really good. 3 kills, 2,958 damage, 1,792 XP, almost 1,800 XP in this tank. That's awesome. One of my best games ever in the VZ44-1. That went really, really well and is everything that you can expect from this tank. I just constantly got into position, let the gun fire. We used every single drop of our hit points, as you can see, because we had so little left, very little margin for error there at the end of the battle, but a great result from the tank. So looking at the detailed stats, we can see 3 kills, 2,958 damage, 14 hits, and another almost 1,500 assistance damage. So we're looking at 4,500 in terms of total damage. In a tier 7 heavy tank, hey, I'll take that any day. Only 220 blocked damage. So that's less than I thought it was. I don't know if I took a couple of shots in the tracks. I don't think you get blocking damage credit for tracking shots, but a nice all-around performance. Unfortunately, when we look at the medal page, yes, it is only a first-class mastery badge. That was surprising. This is not a super powerful meta tank, at least as far as I'm aware. So 1,800 XP, I would have thought that would have been easily an ace tanker in this tank. Apparently not quite, but man, that has to be really, really close. All right, looking at the team statistics, let's give shout outs to the other top 3 members of our team, all with really good games. We have Pure Martini in the Caro P88. We had Flossy Museum 9 in the Rheinmetall Borsig. And we had Flight Relix in the Shashishka. And all of them well over 2,000 damage, putting up really nice numbers, having really solid games. And the 4 of us at the top, I think, carried the team there to a really solid win. Again, in an unconventional way. We sacrificed the hill when I think we were in the starting spawn location that should be favored to take the hill. Still weren't able to get it done, but fought our way back in an unconventional way to claim a victory on a map that I really, really enjoy, but I have not been having a lot of fun playing recently. So hopefully you're having better luck on mines than I am. And if you see me on the enemy team on mines, go for the hill, because my team certainly won't. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.